Well, first, just to wrap up a little bit about last weekend. Coming into that weekend, we talked about how competitive it was going to be playing number 2 Loyola and then Valpo, who is the number 5 seed in the tournament, and also had a really good weekend the weekend before. And the Loyola match was exactly everything we thought it would be. It was a huge battle. I think defensively, to start off with, we were a little bit out of sync, and it wasn't so much the game plan execution. It was just we were executing well, but not getting good, clean touches. And I think a part of that was due to our serving. If you were at the match, Loyola was in system a whole lot in those first 2 sets, and they're just extremely tough offensively, and it puts a lot of pressure on your defense if they're in system. And I thought we picked up our serving, which then obviously allowed our defense to be a little bit better in those next 2 sets. Offensively, we talk a lot about the unforced errors. And I think in that match, we were always shooting for 3, 5 at the most. And we had, I believe it was 8, 10, 10, and 3. So obviously not a number that we like to see. So to be able to beat a team like Loyola and have that many unforced errors was huge. Part of that was Loyola's one of the best blocking teams. So I thought they did a really good job, even when Rachel was able to get some of our kids one-on-one with mixing up diving and dropping, and really got a couple of our kids one-on-one situations. So it's just an area we continue to talk about, continue to want to be better at. And we have made improvements throughout the year at different times, but it was kind of a rough one for us in that way. But overall, Carly had another double-double, which was huge. Glad to see her still competing in all areas of the game. Kaylissa hit over 300 again and had 17 kills, which was one of the highest on the team. Abby had a great match, 35 digs. So anytime you can get over 30 digs, that's a huge match. So really proud of her as well. The other thing I loved about the match is I thought we did a really good job of keeping our composure throughout. It was a really tight match throughout different times, and I thought we did a really good job of focusing. We always talk about one point at a time, and that is a very easy statement to say, but it's not as easy to execute. And I thought our kids did a really good job of really focusing one point at a time throughout that match. And then on Saturday, we played Valpo, who we were fortunate to have senior night as well, so an opportunity to recognize Carly, Abby, and Rachel just for everything that they've given, not just to our program and our teams that they've been a part of, but to the university and the community as well. Just 3 amazing individuals. And the cool thing is, normally it's sad for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is it's because their last home match, but it's not their last home match, so we focused on that a little bit more. But a great recognition for them. I thought our team played really hard for them. It was a really good match for us. Statistically, we held Valpo to 0-something, and we hit close to 400, which has got to be one of the best matches of the year in terms of both offense and defense. So really glad to see that. I'd like to point out Kate Buswitch. She had 12 kills and hit 476, one of her best matches of the year. Inga and Kaylissa both hit over 500. So just a lot of really good things in that match. And I think, like I said, we challenged our kids to play hard for those seniors, and they definitely did that. So just the attack errors that I talk about, 3, 3, and 2. So significantly different than the night before. So that was really good to see by our team. So heading into the weekend, or this week, obviously very excited to be able to host the conference tournament at home. And I first of all just want to thank our administration and all the staff that are a part of that. We obviously want to host a first-class tournament event, and in order to do that, a lot of people have to put a lot of time into a holiday weekend. Also, all the preparation that's gone into it up until this point. Thank you to all of you that not only have supported us all year, but the ones that will be here over the Thanksgiving holiday to help us do the tournament the right way. We really, really appreciate it. And like Jarek said, our kids put a lot of time and effort into it, but so do all of you, and so do our administration in so many ways. So thank you for that. We will play the winner of Valpo and Bradley, and that will be on 5 o'clock on Friday night. And I think this week is just challenging in a couple ways. First of all, you're going to be playing somebody for the 3rd time, but you don't know who you're going to be playing for the 3rd time. And then if you happen to win that match, you're going to play somebody else for the 3rd time, and it can be one of 3 people. So for us, we kind of look at this week as far as the opponent, we're going to look at things with all of the teams in the tournament, all 5 teams. Is there something specific by any team that we feel we struggled with that we do have the ability to get better at in a short amount of time? And if there is, we'll put a little bit of focus and practice on that, not maybe specifically saying it's about that team, but we'll work on that. But otherwise, it's really just fine-tuning our side of the net and what we're doing, being able to sharpen the things that we're really good at and, kind of work a little bit on the things that we still need to be better at. And then the biggest thing to me is just being mentally and physically ready to go for this week. We're going to have competitive matches. This is going to be a fun tournament. There's been a lot of great matches so far this year, so expect a lot of great volleyball this weekend, but we're really looking forward to it. Any questions? Yeah, obviously, I think this year more than any, to be honest, having that first round bye, there's been years where I don't really like to sit and wait. And when you have 4 teams that are playing and kind of getting in the groove of things, it makes you a little bit nervous. But I think this year, as competitive as the regular season has been, and then having the possibility of playing match after match and them both being really competitive, I like the break. And obviously being at home, we feel a lot more comfortable playing in our facility than if we were on the road. So I think it's a really good time to have the number 1 seed for sure.
What's your schedule like this week? You have the kids on campus all week and they do some community service stuff over Thanksgiving and stuff?
Yeah, and actually that's what they're doing right now. They left at 9 o'clock this morning to do some community service, and then this afternoon, we're not gonna be on the court. We're gonna do a light spin workout and do some contrast bath and some things like that to get them physically ready for practice tomorrow. And, for us as coaches, it's one of those, yeah, we'd like to practice 2 to 3 hours, but I don't know if we will. It'll be more like probably 1.5 to 2 hours. Like I said, fine tuning. So we'll practice Tuesday and Wednesday, and then everybody will be in Wednesday night, and we have events for the tournament on Thursday along with practice. So we let them have Sunday off to go home if they wanted to, if those that are close. But they're pretty committed during the time that they're here.
How beneficial is it as the number 1 seed for this year that you get the early side of the bracket, whereas in past years it'd be set up by the host team and you'd be on the later side?
Yeah, that's one of the things that we talked about in our conference meetings, because over the years I've felt it's you're trying to give the 1 and 2 seeds the best advantage. And obviously to me, the 1 seed should have earned the best advantage. And when you're playing at 7 o'clock at night, and sometimes it might even be later than that because of the first match going long, and then you have to turn around and play at 4 the next day, less than 24 hours, it's definitely not an advantage for that number 1 seed. So we talked about that. So thankful we're the first team that gets to benefit from that. I definitely feel, especially as competitive as the matches are, if we were able to win on Friday, that having a little bit longer break would be really needed.
How much growth have you seen out of the team this season when you look at from the non-conference to where you are now, and how would you kind of assess where the group is going into the tournament?
I'm just incredibly pleased with the amount of growth. And I think there was so many question marks this year with a lot of things, and we knew we would have true freshmen that needed to impact our team. And I think the way that those 2 freshmen have been able to do that, along with different people stepping up in different roles. I've talked a lot about that up here with, like Kate doing different things, even Inga doing different things than what she came here to do and what they've been doing so far since they've been here. So just the development of our team, individual people has been huge, but then the way they've been able to bring that together as a unit. And part of that, I think, is the leadership of Rachel offensively, because she's got to have a lot of trust, and, we let her do a lot of the play calling. So her ability to trust in all the individual hitters. And obviously we have Carly's obviously a go-to player for us. Kaylis is kind of becoming that, but we also have several other people that can have go-to nights and really are people that teams have to pay attention to. So it's been a lot of fun to offensively grow. Defensively, we always have expectations for our team, and I think, losing a 4-year starting libero and having Abby come in and being able to take over that role with Bailey and Taylor doing a great job as well. It's just been a lot of fun to see the growth of this team.
RPI-wise, I think you're about mid-40s entering last week. How do you feel about where you're sitting as far as NCAA goes if you weren't to win the tournament here this week?
Yeah, I don't know. I never feel good about it. So that's being said. I think, there's been a lot of things that have happened already with conference tournaments and a lot of upsets. One tournament, the number 4 seed ended up winning. So a lot of it also depends on what's happening around the rest of the country. And, there's still more things to happen this week and this weekend. So I definitely feel like we're a bubble team for sure. How much of a bubble, I'm not really sure yet, but don't like to rely on that. So we don't talk about that. Our goal is definitely to go out and win that automatic bid.
I know you mentioned it's all about fine-tuning, but is there a wrinkle or 2 that you can still throw in there since you're very familiar and very familiar with
Yeah, I think offensively, we just continue to try to do different things. And I think more of our wrinkle will be, I think what we do is we have a certain thing that we always do offensively, and then we have things that we do after that if they're not working. And I think for us, because we're going to be so well scouted, is maybe do that second or third thing first and see if we can score that way, if that makes sense. So if we have 3 different play calls in a certain rotation, maybe we're calling that third one to start with as opposed to the first one that we always go to. And part of it just depends, because I feel like there's several situations that if we're in system, I would do the same play every time. But if you're not in system, that kind of, because I think I'm that confident in our attackers that if we're in system and Rachel makes a good choice, any of those kids can put the ball away. So part of it, has a lot to do with the serve and pass game. A lot of our play calls may change depending on how our passing game goes as well. All right. Thank you.